there was talk that Liverpool had beaten Manchester United to Darwin Nunez. I think United were looking at Nunez, but they weren't interested in pursuing a deal. I think everyone at United, the playing staff-wise, will want to impress Erik ten Hag to see if they've got a future at the club. But with regard to incomings, I think midfield, the information I've been told, the midfield position is the number one priority. And the number one target is the much publicised Barcelona and Netherlands international Frankie de Jong. Now, talks, I'm told, are ongoing between the two clubs. So at the moment, as far as I'm aware, there's been no official offer. But what's happening is the talks are surrounding a fee. So Manchester United will go into Barcelona and say, this is how much we'd be prepared to pay. Barcelona says, this is how much we'll be prepared to receive. And at the moment, those valuations are quite far apart. I think there'd have to be a compromise for this deal to go through, because Manchester United have been stung before when they've tried to sign big name players and they felt maybe that they've overspent. They're not going to pay silly money for Frankie de Jong. They have got other targets. So if the de Jong one doesn't work, they are prepared to walk away from that deal. There was talk that Liverpool had beaten Manchester United to Darwin Nunez. I think United were looking at Nunez, but they weren't interested in pursuing a deal, not because Liverpool were in for him and they feared that Liverpool would get him, but more they weren't interested at the prices being quoted for Darwin Nunez. The interest that they do have is in another Ajax player, and you can see the theme here, in Antony, the Brazilian winger. So I think there's an interest there. There's been initial contacts with Ajax. And look, the relationship between Manchester United and Ajax is a very, very good one. They dealt with Donny van de Beek when he arrived a couple of summers ago, and also Edwin van der Sar, the chief executive at Ajax, of course, a former Manchester United goalkeeper. And it's almost like when a player does go from Ajax to Manchester United, it's almost with the good wishes of the Dutch club. They will say, good luck at Manchester United. It's a fantastic club. Third priority, and some Manchester United fans might be surprised that it is that far down the priority list, is the position of central defender. Yes, they are looking at players in that position, but simply because of the number of players that they do have currently in that squad. You've got Phil Jones, Raphael Varane, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Eric Bailly, just purely because of the numbers. That's why that priority might be further down. And, you know, Manchester United fans and other fans can argue as much as they want about whether the quality is there to take United forward. But the fact of the matter is, these players are on contracts, and it's very difficult to offload players who are on contracts and bring other players in. That's not to say they're not looking. And it's another Ajax player that they're looking at in Jurrien Timber, a Dutch international as well. And one other name is Villarreal's Pau Torres, who's been linked with United for the past couple of summers, and a number of other clubs. But with Torres, there's a feeling that his preference would be to go to a club that's in the Champions League. He tasted a good run with Villarreal last season when they got to the semi-finals, but that might not be the decisive factor. So don't rule United out potentially going in for Pau Torres as well. But Jurrien Timber seems to be one of the names that they're looking at. But having said all of that, because of those names that I mentioned that are already in the squad, I would foresee a situation if a central defender was to come in. I think United would have to release one or two of the ones that they've already got. As far as De Jong is concerned, I mean, publicly, I'm sure the noises will be he's happy at Barcelona. There's no reason not to say that, because if the move doesn't work out, and he said he wanted to leave, it doesn't leave him in a very good position. But I think because the noises we're hearing that there's a willingness from all parties to do a deal, the fact that Erik ten Hag is at Manchester United and he's their new manager and they've worked very closely together, and arguably he's had the best form of his career under that manager, I think there is maybe a leaning towards that, yes, he would be open to making that move to Old Trafford.